Hi everyone, I'm Will Rogers. In today's video, I want to share with you the rewards that I use while I'm training with my horses. I like to use a variety of different rewards that link together and support each other to help the horse understand what it is that we're asking of them. So the first reward is the most obvious one, the release of pressure. This is what everyone talks about, but what's important to take into account with the release of pressure is what is the pressure we're talking about. Now, a lot of people assume that it's a physical pressure or a pressure that's very obvious, but in actual fact, the process of asking the horse for something is pressure enough for that horse to be seeking a release. So just like if I was asking a person to do a job for me, while I'm asking them, they're feeling that pressure that, hey, I need to try and find an answer for this, otherwise he may not leave me alone. So that release of pressure is really the absence of asking for something or the absence of applying some sort of physical pressure. So one thing that's important to clarify with the release of pressure is that we want to make sure that we demonstrate a clear picture to the horse that we are not saying anything with our body language, with our energy in the regards to the request, so that we've switched off, we've taken our energy, intention, body language off and saying, I'm not asking anything more of you, you're okay right there. So that the horse really feels, now I can relax. Okay, so I'm just going to start off with an example of just something simple, yielding the hind legs away. When I find the softness or the position that I want, I'm going to release in the moment that I'm getting sort of what I'm looking for. And then I'm going to show my release with my body, my energy, everything combined, okay? So first ask her to yield her hindquarters, and I'll come around here and then release. Yeah. So see here, my intention, my energy, my body language is come down and away from her, and I'm not, in my body language, nothing's asking her something. So therefore she gets that true release, okay? Now, if I was doing something that was really difficult for the horse, or the first time the horse achieved something, quite a jump up in their progress, something that I was really happy with, then I could release the pressure for a longer period of time and give her what we'd call a quit, a longer quit, where she has more time to relax and soak up the lesson. So the next reward that I want to talk about is the voice, okay? So the voice is something that we can use in a lot of different situations. It's very helpful. So we really want to connect the voice to either a primary reward, like a release of pressure or a quit, for example, or a good feeling in the horse's body, or a transfer of energy from us that is positive and transmits to the horse, this is good, this is on the right track. We could also use food as another example. So when I start with the voice, I like to use it mostly in the same way. So in most cases, I use a certain tone and certain words for a reward. So for example, in this case, this is Sky. She's a young 3 turning 4-year-old, warm blood mare, and in the beginning with her training, I would start by reinforcing a reward with, or backing a reward up with saying, good girl. Now, I like to use a reassuring tone, a smoother, not so high energy tone in the beginning. Something that's reassuring them, letting them know everything's okay, good girl, good girl. Okay, see her lick and chew there? Now, she's listening to my voice there, and she associates good things with that, okay? Now, it's important to be consistent. If you're not consistent, the voice loses meaning, okay? So, in the beginning, I will use the voice a lot for very simple things and in a repetitious fashion, but always for good things, good feelings. Now, just like how we learn the association to a word or the meaning of a word, the horse starts to understand the same. Now, this is very helpful if you're wanting to target a certain point in an exercise where the horse finally gets close to what you want, and a release of pressure and stopping might disrupt the flow. You can use the voice, and because it's been connected to rewards before, the horse starts to go, "Ooh, there's something here. This is a good place to be. I need to look for that again." And then you might be able to reward them with a release of pressure or food or something else afterwards. In the beginning, I didn't believe so much in talking to horses or using my voice much in training, but as I've gone further, and especially through my Liberty work, I've understood how powerful it is and how much a horse can benefit from using your voice in the right terms, especially if you time it appropriately and use it correctly. So an example of this might be, I might ask her to come towards me, and as she's coming towards me, when she's finding what I'm looking for, then I can use the voice, okay? Sky, good girl, good girl. Ooh. So something like that. I'm rewarding her with my voice as she's finding the correct answer. The next reward I want to talk about is physical touch, physical contact. Now, what I mean by this is a little bit the same as the voice, and you can connect it to the voice, you can connect it to a release, you can connect it to a good feeling, you can connect it to your energy, your intention, or you need to, essentially. Now, so an example of this is when you might have a whip with you, and you want to be able to rub the horse with the whip and transmit to them that they're doing a good job and that everything's okay, that they don't need to be worried about a request just because you have a whip in your hand, okay? Now, where I like to start with this is timing it a little bit like the voice with a certain point. So the horse reaches a certain point or finds what I'm looking for, and then I'll offer some physical contact connected with my intention and energy, a bit like reassuring her. So it's like a reassuring contact. So it's like saying, good girl, girl, okay? So it's connected to the other things that I've been talking about. So one thing that's important that with the physical touch or the contact is that it feels to the horse firm and smooth and reassuring. A lot of people sometimes will go, oh, good to scratch and do light things, or too firm, or a weird energy that triggers the horse. It's really important that energy and that contact, good girl, is reassuring and firm enough to the horse, okay? So that horse gets a good feeling from that touch. Okay, so a demonstration of this might be when the horse comes into the position that I would like. So in this case, I'd like her eye up past my shoulder, that when she finds that position, that I make contact with my hand in the moment that she finds that, and then I can connect that with my voice as well. So, Sky, good girl, girl. So if I stop and go backwards, back. When she finds the position I want, good girl. I could use it in the same way. Okay, so one thing that I can't stress enough is that the feeling and the intention that you give to the horse is really important, because it's the same thing as if someone says something to you and you feel that what they're saying is different to their intention. Okay, so the intention part connected to that physical contact and touch is really important. Okay, so the next one might be the whip, for example. So what I might do is I might let her know that yes, I want her to stand still. So then I might make contact and say, good girl, good girl. And by rubbing her in a rhythmic, smooth, firm way, good girl, she then connects standing still, the physical contact, with a reward, an understanding of, it's okay, I don't have to worry, he's not asking me anything, I can relax here. Okay, I hope that's helpful. So another one that I want to talk about is our energy and our intention, which is essentially connected to our other rewards, or at least it should be, to be most effective. Now, without the right intention with our rewards or the right energy, we don't have nearly the effect that we're looking for. Horses are naturally very tuned in to our energy and our intentions. Okay, so this is, as much as our body language says something, our energy and intention is a really big part of that. Okay, so if our release or our reward is not congruent with a good intention or energy that's supporting that, then it's not going to be nearly as effective or effective at all, practically. Okay, so our energy and intention is really a huge one. Now, it's a hard one to describe, but I tend to try and, in my mind, transfer the thought or the feeling of, this is good, good, that's good, while letting the horse feel, I'm not requesting any more of you. Okay, so the last one I want to talk about as far as rewards go is food. Now, I'm not an expert on positive reinforcement, but I do believe that food does have definite value. Personally, I like to use it as a cherry on top. So if I'm doing an exercise that might be a little bit repetitious or a little bit challenging for the horse, and I want a little bit more motivation or a little bit more enthusiasm, then I might add some food in the mix on top of my other rewards to be a bit of a cherry on top and motivate the horse a little more. So in summarizing these rewards, I feel that each one of them has great value, and combining them has an even greater value. And depending on how you are as a person and what your style and approach to training might be, as to which ones you use more or less, but I find all of them very valuable and helpful, and I hope you find them too.